Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So it's news night here on Dokkan. We're going to have some JP news, we're going to have some global news. Okay, so I seriously tweets this out, and it's first Form Frieza, of course. That's what that is. That's Frieza, you know, putting that finger up and then just throwing down the Death Ball and destroying Planet Vegeta, right? So that means First Form Frieza is the next DOKKANFEST that is coming to global Dokkan. I seriously, if you guys are not aware, is able to see the news in game a few days early. That is, I seriously, superpower, right? So is able to see that the DOKKANFEST, you know, coming soon, like teaser, is for First Form Frieza. Now, a lot of people really had their hopes set on the Tanabata LR being early and first for global. Now, this isn't something that's like absolutely absurd because there's a precedent. Global has gotten Tanabata early before. So it's not like just a complete random thing. LR Gohan and Goten were the Tanabata LR, and they did arrive on global first. So once it's already happened once, I especially think like it's much more of kind of like a legitimate kind of like theory, right? And I myself actually thought it made a ton of sense for them to throw out the Tanabata DOKKANFEST LR next, right? I thought this made so much sense because we're moving towards the sync. Now, they have never said when the exact sync is. By the way, I will continue to disagree with a lot of people who think, oh, they should never told us about the sync. I disagree. I think the communication is always good. It's just they've made a lot of mistakes since they told us about the sync. But they just vaguely said summer. Now, I'm going to anticipate, and my thought is that them saying summer for the sync is going to be August. Because most of summer is Global's anniversary, right? Like Global is going to, all of July is Global's anniversary. And, you know, the first 2 weeks typically is Global anniversary as well, sort of. Because it's like the anniversary for JP is the last week of January, February, and then usually the first couple of days of March. Like the anniversary for JP is bleeding into parts of 3 separate months. So it's a huge portion of the year, the anniversary. So then, like Global, I don't think they're gonna move any of the anniversary stuff around. So I think what's gonna happen now is Global's gonna get First Form Frieza. Because of my new PC, I'll figure out a way to make this better. But for now, we're gonna have to look at this. So the way I anticipate things going here is Global will get First Form Frieza probably like the 31st or something like that. I think Ginyu, the LR Ginyu Force, is probably going to come out either this week in June or this week in June, sometime in this range. The anniversary LRs are going to be, what, like the 8th? Typically, they're like the 7th or 8th, 9th. Like, it's going to be in this time frame right here. The Part 2 LRs, so that's going to be Beast and the Gammas, are usually down here. So, like, maybe like the 26th, 25th, or the 29th or 30th, something like that. Then I think Global's going to get Topo at the start of August. And then I think, bam, we're going to be moving right into the sync in the middle of August. I think the sync is officially going to happen in the middle of August before the Worldwide Download Celebration LRs happen on like the 30th, 29th, something like that. So that will leave Global with, okay, so Topo and Frieza, I think, are going to be on Global, right? So Global is going to be missing whatever the Part 2 LR is for the current celebration JP is going to get. Because there's going to be a Part 2 LR. It's so funny to me how often people will say, well, what if they just don't do a Part 2 LR? No, they're not going to just not drop it. The game is here to make money, guys. Like, they're not going to just not drop. Like, the sync is happening not at the expense of JP. Like, they're not going to stop releasing banners. I see this so, like, I was like, all right, like, we're going to see the Part 2 LR. This was for the Ginyu celebration, Topo celebration. It's like, all right, we're going to see the Part 2 LR, like, you know, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. And I had some people saying, well, what if they just don't do a Part 2 LR to make it easier for the global sync? Well, that's not happening. Like, if they're going to make things better for the sync, it will be the way they did Physical Goku Black, where he was an extra banner. That was painless. I don't know why they haven't done more of that. It doesn't make any sense. But what's going to happen is this Part 2 LR we're going to get for this Goku Black celebration, there's no spot for it on Global. So I think the sync is going to happen. This Part 2 LR is not going to be on Global. The Tanabata LR, not going to be on Global. The Carnival LR, not going to be on Global. And then there's going to be a Dokkan Fest at the end of July, probably the 31st, 30th for JP, that's not going to be on Global. So there's going to be 4 major characters not on Global. There's going to be a Yellow Coin LR, a Dokkan Fest LR, a Carnival LR, and a Dokkan Fest TUR. There's going to be 4 major characters that are not on Global when the sync happens. I mean, I guess maybe I'm getting a little too fast here. They certainly could fit extra shit in June. If they really wanted to be ambitious, I bet you they could fit 2 extra characters in June. I bet you they could. They could. If they really wanted to. At least 1 extra. Like, maybe whatever the Part 2 LR is that JP gets, Global will also get that. I could see that. I definitely could see that. But there's going to be missing units when the sync happens. And I think now that is kind of like pretty clear that that's going to happen. That there's actually going to be missing characters. And I mean, I think that's an issue here, is they didn't specify that that was going to happen. That, oh, there's going to be missing characters when this thing is going to happen. Now, we have some news here. New quest mode is coming. And they talked about the revamps here. This is how... I was asleep again. I can't be awake for everything. But as soon as this happened, it was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, this is absolutely going to be the Frieza celebration right here. All right, guys. While I was recording that video, JP Dokkan, I was expecting this. JP Dokkan had tweeted out the new stuff. That's why I paused the recording 1 minute before they did. But sure enough, there is a banner unit in here. So this does just add to kind of like the goofing offness that Global is kind of taking when it comes to this sync, right? They're doing a lot of just goofy, silly things of this nature, where it's like the Goku Black, like, okay, they shouldn't have made Goku Black a Global first. Whoever the Dokkan Fest is at the end of July, that is who should have been the Global first. I've explained many times, but the end of July Dokkan Fest does not have a Part 2 LR. What it has in the Part 2 spot is the Peppy Gal banner, right? Which they could just slide in at any moment on like, that doesn't matter, right? Like, that's what they should have did. But it's not what they chose to do. So, okay. I mean, we've talked about the sync stuff like that. It's very clear. Like, when is this Trunks coming to Global? I mean, there's a lot of mysteries up in the air. I mean, I would imagine by the time we're in 2025, all of this nonsense will be a thing of the past, but unfortunately we're in it right now. By the way, this is a Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, by the way. This is actually, believe it or not, a new named character. This Trunks. He's a new named character, which is hilarious. I don't know why... Yeah, whatever. Anyway, they finally... Like, this Trunks in Dragon Ball Super, actually, I mean, he does do Super Saiyan, he does Super Saiyan 2, and he does Super Saiyan Rage, which should be its own separate cold form, yet they have all of them tied to just Super Saiyan Future. And we know that they're not going to change any pre-existing names, so I guess the best we could hope for is that they're going to release new character like this. Yeah, they could start doing Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, I guess. Alright. We talked about this. Again, unfortunately, Tanabata is now in limbo in Global. When is Tanabata going to come out? I don't know, because the usual landing spot for Global is November or December, but Global is going to be synced, right? Global is going to be getting exactly what JP gets in November and December. So I have no idea when Tanabata is going to be hitting. Let me just take a look quickly at the details here for the celebration. So we have login and missions. There's the Dokkan Fest of Frieza and Dodoria. We have the first Form Frieza Dokkan event, the medals, Stone campaign, then, you know, just the orbs and the keys like usual, Elder Kai banner. This is something that's already on Global. This, wow, I've been meaning to make my thread. I have done literally thousands of runs, and I could prove it because I have so many crappy equips. I could easily prove it. Every run in here is 30 stamina. I have gotten a lot of good equips, but the cost is so immense. Like money-wise. Like, the amount of stamina I've dumped into this actually has made a dent in my stones to get equips. It's the worst. It's one of the worst things I've ever done. Then this guy. When you talk about, oh man, an Ize really is not good enough, this guy fits that bill. This is the one. He is not like I could have put a cape on for this guy a little bit. Like, because he was the first kind of like Ize 2 of the year. It's like, okay. Like, if they had released like Tech Gohan, Exchange Boo, like any of the Super Izes before this guy, oh my god. Like, he's so bad. This Bardock. I mean, he's just really not that good. It's what he is he's a potential unit. He can become quite impressive in this form right here. Can. But is he usually going to be impressive in that form? No. Yeah, and of course, here's the... There's going to be revamps for the Ginyu and Bardock team events. That's, again, another reason. They did more of this with the Ginyu stuff. I just think that the way this celebration is going to pan out is going to be Frieza Part 1, Ginyu Part 2. The Legendary Frieza event's going to come with the celebration. They're going to get all of the revamps for the Ize areas. Like, this stuff was split up between 2 different celebrations on JP. It's going to be just one celebration on Global. Pretty certain of that. And then we get to, oh, wait, let's just, okay, so the Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, Chilled. Yeah, Chilled is coming. Chilled's not on Global. There's a Battlefield, this campaign, and then there's Patan. So we have Frieza, Dodoria, the Easy A-Team Bardock, Chilled, and this Bardock. Those are the characters for this celebration. Frieza's good, but he has no help. And, I mean, he is a less important character in the or like a less impactful character because Frieza is just a slot 2 damage dealer. There's infinite of those, and those just aren't as important as, Tech Super Saiyan Vegeta, who goes in slot 1 and tanks, Toppo, who goes in slot 1 and tanks. Those characters are just far above the level of Frieza, who's just like a slot 2 damage dealing character. But in particular, Frieza needs Terrifying Conqueror category characters to be good. Frieza needs Terrifying Conqueror characters to release. So until that happens, it's tough for Frieza. Because a lot of what he's going to be able to do, this is huge for him. Getting all of this crit and all of this defense makes a huge deal. You could slide Physical Kid Buu, using him with like this Frieza and stuff like that, because Frieza's leader skills, Planetary Destruction, and Space Traveling Warrior. So Kid Buu is on Frieza's team, and I would run Kid Buu, and I'd run Hirudegarn. But after that, it's like Frieza needs Terrifying Conqueror characters. So, and he doesn't have that. I did already record Frieza's team going against Red Zone Kid Buu. I'll make sure to upload that today. It was a good run. We had some good stuff happen in that one. It does show Frieza does look very good, but then there's 50 deaths of the weak ass loser characters around him, right? It's exactly what happens with Frieza. Dodoria is solid, but he's just not good enough because Frieza needs a slot 1 protector, and Dodoria is not really good enough for that. My recommendation is put like 32 dodge in this Dodoria, because a lot of the times Dodoria's gonna have to go in slot 1. Even though he can't go slot 1, but like you have to. Like, it's just how it goes. So I would recommend, people are gonna be silly, but you're gonna want to give this guy full dodge, man. It's just how it is. This character is meant for newer players to have an established team ready to go. I think that for what they're supposed to be, I do think that this character is fine. They're not like a red zone killer, but they are, leading the Team Bardock team. They can be effective. And then Chilled is kind of a decent free-to-play character. He is one of these Terrifying Conqueror characters you'd like for Frieza's team. So let me know what you guys think. Again, Frieza is coming to Dokkan or Global Dokkan next. June is probably going to be a bit of a boring month for Global because even if you get Frieza, I mean, Frieza will crush Global content, sure, but it's just he doesn't have the options to be a super competitive character, and I think chances are good that Ginyu is going to be the Part 2 LR, so we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you guys next time.